Hey guys, it's Matt. This is a good opportunity to probably piss some people off. I want to make sure the subscriber numbers here never even get close to 100,000. They're locked wherever they've been locked, so there's probably no chance at that, but we'll lose some people here today. Going over the comments of the last video, first through fifth grade truthers, I'm sorry. If you're going to just yell, fake, it's so... And the comment that really created the need to make this video was,
how anybody could possibly believe that video is real is beyond me.
Well, let me explain how I went about finding that video, analyzing, making the video that I did. If you're just going to yell fake, see, you need to provide some back-end support. You need to have a little bit more than that. That's just not good enough. Sorry, that's just not good enough. For example, do you think the city doesn't even exist? What's your back-end argument? Other than just crying out fake, and
How could anybody think that?
so you don't think the city exists? It's just made up. If you go out there, it's just goats. I mean, what is your back end on it? No, Matt, they did drive around the city with cameras. They modeled the real streets in a Grand Theft Auto type situation, which I inserted in the first 45 seconds of the video to imply that there's something not quite right. I said right off the bat that this doesn't feel very real. And then I did say that I can't, because I'm not aware of a technology that's 25 years advanced over anything we possibly could have imagined that could create photorealistic cityscapes in perfect 4K, I had to at least, start with the default of it probably is real. As the video went on, if you stuck with me, more and more things started to bother me. Became more and more like an AI. The case for the AI grew. See, as I've said, we jump into these things together. I didn't have time to analyze it for 3 or 4 hours before making the video. I think if I would have had that time and only make one video a week, then my conclusions probably right from the start would have been a little bit different. Maybe withhold the comment,
I can't believe anybody could suggest that all this was real.
What's your back-end argument? There's no city there? Okay, at least see the people that gave me some good comments about it being a hybrid of sorts, something along the lines of with the way they were explaining it. But I'm going to kind of extrapolate where I think they would go if they were talking this out with me. Was they did model it with the Google car that drives around, and then they modeled the real into an AI of some kind, and the AI tried to recreate the real, and the tree. That's bonsai, the 40-foot tree that's bonsai cut, and they had rows of perfect bushes, flowers. Matt, those things are really there, but what you were seeing is an AI. The final rendering of the video yesterday was an AI, and only 5% of the original remains. Or that's an intelligent comment. This isn't an intelligent comment. Fake.
Oh, anybody could think it's real.
That's not good enough. So there's no city there? What's your back end rationale, if you would? Come on, first grade truthers, fifth grade. Are you going to take your ball and go home? Come on now. So again, I didn't have time to spend 3 or 4 hours to do it first before I had a chance to start the video. We jump into things together. We take Not Milk travel tours to a place with an indigenous population existed hundreds of years ago. I don't know exactly what we're going to find, but I have theories that we're going to find the same old themes and scripts of this fake reality, that the colonial powers will have in some way enslaved or screwed over the indigenous populations. We do it together. As my video yesterday went on, the case for AI, the case for artificial and fake, became stronger and stronger. And I made that case as the video went on. Maybe withhold the comment for 15 or 20 minutes. But the real thing that really gets me was what's your back end explanation then? After you cry fake, okay, now we're an audience. When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. Now what? No city there? What's your... How do they do it? I mean, what's the point? What's the purpose of it? Is it as I suggested? I even suggested in the video that it is this to test the audience watching to see who would notice that things don't feel quite right or look quite right. which I mentioned several times in the video. This just doesn't feel right. The space between cars, there's something not right about this. Most of my argument was centered around that this is very artificial and likely AI or a good bit AI. So, maybe give me a break. Anyway. But the thing again that really bugs me is where's your back end after just yelling fake? So again, to me, without again just making this video on the fly, being a little bit perturbed at seeing some of those comments, not having thought it through, these types of exercises are a test of the AI. Then will look over the comments and what people are saying. And they know exactly who we are in this community. They know the people that have rejected this reality and see through everything. They know exactly based on every thumb up and comment we've ever made on every platform over so many years. I don't think it typically concerns them if the point is to test it, to put it out, and to see who notices that there's some anomalies here, that this isn't very real. And if the people saying this is all bullcrap, it knows if we're in this conspiracy bucket, I don't think it's very concerned because it knows we're going to see through basically everything. That's just what we do. But our regular people saying, this doesn't look right. If you went out to Chungking, which somebody in the comments pointed out, that was like was it some sort of frozen noodles or something in the 80s? I remember that. That stuff was crap. It was so loaded up with you went into some MSG high. It was so loud. It wasn't that good. I've had it a few times. Was it chicken chow mein or something like lo mein? I don't know. But my mother popped that stuff in a few times, almost puked. That was the lowest of the low. Today's stuff's just as chemicaled, but it does taste better. I have to give him that credit. Anyway, so it's a test. And what it's very interested in, it's potentially a test. I don't, again, like the ignorant people that just cried out fake without any back end support or anything. I don't want to make those same mistakes. I'll say I think it was a test, or when they do this sort of thing, it's a test, and to see if anybody on the ship of fools is saying, if I were to really go out there, would the traffic really look like that, or are real people noticing there's something wrong? Because, as I said in the video, how am I going to say in the video yesterday that they're going to use this sort of thing to cake in a lake the Elon Musk Mars mission if I believed it was all real? Anyways, Matt, just a couple people were idiots, and don't just latch onto that. I need to expand this video or this presentation beyond that. But those people did piss me off. What's your back end? How much it's completely fake. I have to spend a few more minutes with these people. So there was no initial render. There was no Google car that initially drove the city for 3 or 4 weeks with a camera mapping every single angle, every single flower pot. Those trees don't exist. The bushes don't exist. The people don't exist. Even those people that cried fake would say, yeah, there was a Google car, what I'll call a Google car with the 360 camera on top and whatever that just mapped everything the way they do Google Maps or Google Earth, etc. So even those people that cried fake would say that everything was mapped over weeks or months, every flower pot, every blade of grass. Well, then it's not completely fake. It's just an AI rendering of it's not analog of a video capture that eventually makes its way to a completely AI output. Then that's not completely fake. Somebody drove around with, or a bot, whatever, drove around with cameras. So at least provide a sentence on the back end, other than just yelling out fake. You want to take your ball and go home? Go take your ball and go home. I don't have tolerance for trolls, but at this point we've come so far. I don't have a lot of tolerance for the first grade truthers that'll pop up here. Go back to your Tartaria videos, your mud flood. No, whatever your opinion is very valued. Provide back-end support. If I'm a complete idiot and I'm missing something, and in terms of studying I haven't missed very much over the years, provide back-end support. It's not good enough just to yell fake. Anyway, so the people the comments about the hybrid, that they were I think the most accurate. Yeah, it was mapped. It was a car drove around, and then it's converted, over to maybe this is what they have planned for the when Elon Musk will be triumphant, and he will be when he himself, as I said in the video yesterday, walks down the ladder, and he himself does his own version of one small step for man, one giant leap for the sequential incarnations. They will likely, maybe they know they can't create it from scratch. Come here, Czar. People want to say hi to you. People, maybe they know they can't create it from scratch, and they have to go out into the Gobi Desert with, and film it, and then upscale it somehow to AI. Where the Final Fantasy 2000. By the way, that showed us Final Fantasy, the movie around the year 2000, which all the characters and actors were completely computer generated. Then I think they showed us too much with that, guys, because that type of movie just went away for 10 years. I think somebody said, no, don't tip them off that this can be done so soon. And I think, the excuses were, that didn't make any money. And, if Final Fantasy could do that in the year 2000 or 2001, I mean, can imagine what they can do today. So maybe they have to go for, I've said, several times, whatever they have regarding this, Elon Musk certainly will, of course, go on his mission to Mars, probably personally. It's probably already done, but when I've said before it's already done, it's not good enough. It's just not. They know that if they put it, in front of 100 people, if there were 10 of us, we'd all see right through it. But even the regular people in the ship of fools would potentially find some issues. So they're always trying to rework it to make it better. And maybe that's what this exercise, like Chungking and some of all the other stuff they're going to do using AI. Maybe it's all mostly about the events that they're going to cake in a lake in the future, and not just Elon Musk's whatever Jeff Bezos is going to do with his hot water heater for Blue Origin, but what they're going to do in the mall, or what they're going to do in the school, or what they're not going to need for the Las Vegas event. They're not, they're probably very close to where they're not going to need any real morons on the street like Mike. I'm going to do it. Yeah, we're waiting for Jason Aldean, and my buddy, my buddy took 3, and then we knew it was for real. They're not going to need morons like him. And I think just like Chris in Virginia, they made him some sort of state senator job, just gave him a cubicle staring at a TPS report or something and said, Mike, you're now a state congressman. Congratulations. Well, what do I get to do? Nothing. Just stare at this cubicle wall. They rewarded him for a job poorly done. We should, on Free Voice sometimes, we'll do, guys, a catastrophe thespian special. Who is the absolute worst of all time? And right now it's Mike. Mike, are you listening to me from Alaska as a congressman? Second would be Robbie Bibby, or Chris. Good night, sweet boy, Chris from Virginia, and the fake cake in a lake relationship with Allison. He wouldn't even know what to do with her. He wouldn't know. Look at him. He wouldn't know. What do I do again? We gotta fake this relationship. How do I touch a woman? He wouldn't have a damn clue. Him and the day of he's parading around in his red pants. Who wears red pants? I mean, they do this on purpose. They could have got a catastrophe thespian that was a manly man, that it would be reasonable that he'd be dating Allison. Of course they could have gotten that. They do this on purpose. It's not that different. It's a similar type test as a Chungking drive around to a degree. But we'll do it Free Voice sometime. The top 10 list of all-time worst catastrophe thespians, or crisis, and it's not worst. They're not doing a bad job. It's mistakes on purpose. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. I don't think they're told to be bad. The Not Milk knows they'll be bad. They are bad. It's the Not Milk wants them to be bad to get our attention, to get the attention of a certain group of people. That they wanted us to notice it. They wanted us to call it out. If a bus disappeared in yesterday's video, or some people saw there was some glitches or something like that, and that was, I mean, they have the ability to see if you in your bedroom can find it. I bet their $100 billion infrastructure can find it, and the AI bots that will then are set up to review the output, and even the people sitting at desks that have PhDs. If you can find the bus that disappeared or something that morphed, or the Elmo that ran across the street that I didn't see no red Elmo run across the street. Some of you saw some things in the video yesterday. Then see, they can find it. That's the first grade truther doesn't understand this, or the fourth grade truther. They think that, when the George Bush is getting a visit around JPL or whatever, the NASA Space Center, whatever. Oh, and look, there's a green screen. George Bush Sr. is pushed. There's a green screen behind, and if you can find people on wires, in the place up there where they have the pizza parties and the gorilla suits. And they have the singing and everybody's shiny, happy. Nobody gets bags under their eyes from not being able to sleep, just floating against the wall. That thing supposedly up there, if you can see somebody go through on a wire, then they caught that too. Or you think you're more sophisticated than their $100 billion supercomputers that proof everything to make sure everything's legitimate. And the people that have the PhDs, no, they know it's there. It's mistakes on purpose. That was mine, by the way, guys. I'm going to pat myself on the back too much, but when I come out and say I don't have any original thoughts or ideas, I mean, most of what at this point comes from you. But some people are taking that too literally. I got a comment the other day, Matt. I think you've had a few original ideas on your what? Well, I'll just say mistakes on purpose. That's mine. That's if I've brought one thing to this community over almost 15 years, that's mine. Said Robbie Bibby Robbie. He didn't make a mistake. That's exactly what they wanted to go out. Anyway, guys, I just had to. I saw some comments and I went, here we go again, And guys, I did contribute in a way. I contributed to the confusion. I will take. I will. Accept blame for this aspect. That I know when I'm talking over a video and my program is capturing, I know it's going to lose quality. And then when I upload, I'm uploading at a lesser quality, so it just doesn't take forever. And most people aren't. Sometimes they watch on a phone or whatever. They're not going to. There's no point, even if I could capture it in 4K. But in me putting it, it definitely looked way more ridiculously cake in a lake because my video quality was so poor. I should have said, right, those that are just going to cry out without a back-end support, cake in a lake, go watch the original link below in the description. It's still there yesterday. So it's not that easy, to cry out. Well, I guess for the first grade truther it is to cry out cake in a lake when you're looking at, like, I don't know what it is, 4K, or it's above 1080. Where somebody drives by, I watched a few people go by on a motorcycle, and their clothing is flapping in the wind in perfect photorealistic quality, just absolutely perfect clarity. And I could sit here and just yell out before I knew what I was getting involved with that video. In the first few minutes, I could just sit. If you want me to just yell out "cake and a laugh," you want me to do that? Is that really? Haven't we advanced a bit? I have to be, the wise man or woman has to take the approach right from the start that, well, I've never been to the city. I don't know their culture. Maybe they do allow that sort of. Am I an expert on Chinese driving? Maybe they do allow that sort of space. Maybe they do have harsh penalties for speeding tickets. Maybe they don't change lanes. The pedestrians as they went by seemed very, very real. I have to assume, as the wise man or woman, that I'm ignorant of their cultures. I've never been there. I'm not Kent. I haven't been all over the Far East. I've never been there. I have to assume real until it proves itself to be definitively fake. Okay, to go up that's not the right way to go about it. So that I should be punished for that in the first 10 or 15 minutes of yesterday's video via the comments. I shouldn't start by saying I have to assume this is real and we're going to do this together. I should just start in the first 30 seconds. It just doesn't quite feel right, and in the moment it doesn't feel right, it's just fake. That's what the wise man or woman does. Yeah, that's good. Good job. And the person that said, I appreciate the comment that said something like, Matt, I appreciate your channel and I like what you've done, but something about not too negative, but I need to go off and be more positive and more, that's the worry about your self activities. Go off and be more positive. What I do is an analysis of not nilk. Okay, so by the way, in maybe several hundred videos, noticing things about how this reality works. I have worked in that this regarding telling you who you really are is the best news of all time. Have you ever heard me say that? This is the greatest news of all time. Understanding how fake this reality is, what it's trying to get from you, which means how powerful it's the greatest, how powerful you are. It's the greatest news of all time. Now, that's not me using a choice of incorrect words. It is the greatest news of all time. Once we establish that, my job is to analyze not nilk. I'm going to make fun of it. As you can see in this video, I can be very condescending. Can be a little harsh on people. I mean, that's kind of my role. So I'm sorry if I'm negative but that's I guess in terms of studying not nilk, and it's not very nice what it does to us, what it does to the people, how it enslaves. It's a negative topic a lot of times, and I try to work in the best news of all time, the best that I can. But go if you need to go off and do more positive. Go. That's the worry. That's exactly the point of the entire book that I wrote. Part 2. Once you see the trick, through the trick, worry about yourself. The worry about your self activities. Go do that sort of thing. But that's not going to be the focus of this channel. The focus of this channel is to be very harsh on the not nilk and those that contribute and participate in its trick, like Alec Baldwin. Is Rust ever going to come out? They're going to release that? I haven't been to the theater. What was the last movie I went into? I don't know. It wasn't have nothing to do with C, the V of 2020. I hadn't been to a movie for years before that because they all stink, but maybe for some other reasons too. But I heard the popcorn was $18 or something, I stopped going. If they release Rust, which they never, I don't think ever will, I will go to the theater and see it. In fact, it was probably all. It might not have even been a real movie, just a big spectacle to create that situation. And
Matt, you think that one's real too?
No. Nor did I think, starting the video yesterday, saying there's a real problem with the feel here. But the real problem with the feel of what we're seeing here, and let's do this together, guys, that wasn't good enough for a lot of people. Are you going to take your ball and go home? Oh, okay. Take your ball and go home. Go back to your mud flood videos. Sorry, guys. But hopefully the numbers went down a bit, and we can make sure we never even get close to 100,000. Thanks for watching.